Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to another live edition of the Highbury Squad. I feel like the cat who ate the canary. Send me to Vegas right now. I feel lucky. Winning ugly can be absolutely beautiful, can't it? Who cares how the points came? They came tonight. But there are a lot of things we need to talk about because we can't get away with this for 17 games. Here we go.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to the Highbury Squad. Here's the man of the moment. He got the goal, but my goodness, it wasn't pretty, was it? But it's okay. We got the 3 points. Let me take Gabby off the screen right now from one Gabriel to another. We'll talk about that. Welcome to the Highbury Squad. We have a new crew in town. You guys know JJ already. I always love to bring on one of the tactical squad members after a tactical squad show. James Johnson, welcome back.
Hello. Sorry, I thought I might have a few seconds before, but no, I'm here. I'm on time.
Yes, you told me what you did at the final whistle, but I won't share it with everybody else.
I had to go. I had to go, Sophie. I had to go.
James is like, right, I'm just going for a slash and I'll be right back.
The stress.
And making his debut here on the Highbury Squad, an avid listener and a genuine squaddie and a huge fan of Super Kevin Campbell, is Faris, joining us live from Dubai. Welcome.
Thanks, Soph. Thanks, James. Nice to meet you.
Love it. We love bringing on new fans, and I reached out and I said, send an email. Faris was the very first one. We had a ton of people, of course, who emailed, and we'll keep doing that as well. As you know, we love bringing our fans on, especially when we do our trip down the memory lane show. Right, squaddies in the house, the usual suspects. Hello, Jenny. I always am scared how I'm going to pronounce this screen name, James. Why don't you say it?
Funny enough, I used to be in a seven-a-side team called Stupid Stunts, which, that used
questionable.
Used to be my seven-a-side team.
My girl, Amelia Lopez, in the house. Good to see you, Amelia. Amelia is a journalist here who covers Liga MX, LA Galaxy. She's a top-shelf Gooner and an absolute rock star human being. We got Tammy. We've got everybody. We've got Soph. Let me just try and we got Lucas Hood, one of my favorite shows ever, Banshee. We got Magic Mike in the house. Right after this, you're going to go join Magic Mike. And if you want to have your voice heard, you can do so. He's hosting a open mic on Lee's show. I don't know if I can't see. There's so many people right now, so bear with me, right? And we'll get to everybody. We'll get to all your comments. We also have Marky Mark, who's going to join us in a few minutes. He's literally leaving Wolves Stadium right now, Molineux, heading back to his hotel. Stood there singing his heart out like all of our away fans. Our roving reporter will be joining us. And who knows, if we're on air long enough, there may be an appearance from Super Kevin Campbell himself. Right, before I get cracking with the post-game show, I do have to do one piece of housekeeping. Our friends at Football Prizes have this juicy number. They've got the Arsenal shirt bundle. It's the shirt from this season plus the Arsenal 1985 centenary away shirt up for grabs. Buy your ticket for $3.95. You can find yourself with this gem of a deal. And I will be giving away a ticket at the end of tonight, so stay tuned for that. James, don't let me forget to do that, please. I would really appreciate it because there's going to be a lot going on. All right, Gooners, should we talk football? Who's ready? Let's get stuck in. James, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty.
Do you know what? It's one of those where after you watch it, my God, you're so relieved. You saw everything that happened yesterday and we just got to win this. We just got to win this. And thank God we did, because parts of that were absolutely ugly.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes you got to win ugly, and we did. So happy days.
That was my tweet. That was my tweet just a few minutes ago, James. Sometimes winning ugly is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Look, when was the last time, Faris, you know, before we've seen our teams fold going one up with 11 men, this 10-men syndrome that we're building is kind of intense. We also don't want to make a habit of it. I want to touch on with you guys, the discipline on the pitch. I believe a team is the image of their manager. And I think we need to get our egos in check a little bit, because these things will come back to haunt us against better, bigger sides. And we still have to play. We got Liverpool, right? We've got West Ham. We've got Tottenham. Well, you know, I say better sides loosely, by the way, when I mention Tottenham. Faris, what's your take?
Well, I think that point about going down to 10 men is really quite crucial for us in a number of respects. I mean, the first one, you know, almost tongue-in-cheek, you would say we should start training regularly with 10 men at the end of our training sessions, just because we know inevitably we're going to go down to 10 men at the end of or during our games. But on a more serious level, I think you raise a really important point here, because we hear so much about discipline off the pitch and how strict the manager has been with players and their discipline in and around the training ground, about the non-negotiables. But I'd like to hear a lot more about our discipline on the pitch and how we're dealing with these recurrent, you know, red cards, yellow cards. I mean, the red card is one thing, which I'm sure we'll get to in good time. But the number of yellow cards that we got, particularly with how thin our squad is really quite worrying. I don't know if you and James felt the same, but every time someone went down with a niggle, every time someone got a yellow card, my heart was in my mouth, and I'm thinking, how is this going to be sustainable?
And also the key is who's getting those yellow cards, right? So Partey and Xhaka, I'm going to say something that a lot of people may get really mad at me at right now. There's 300 of you in live chat. Be prepared for this one. The Partey is over for me. I've seen enough. And that might be harsh considering this is his second game back from AFCON. But how long has he been at the club? And how many times are we going to make excuses? And how many times also are we going to continually ask, who's the Partey to Thomas Partey? Why is it everyone else's fault? Why is it never Thomas Partey's fault? And to be fair, tonight, we know Xhaka. We know what we're going to get with Xhaka. And it's like I keep referring to him as the Saw movie. You watch the first, second, and third one. You're like, do I really need to watch the fourth and fifth one? I don't think so. And I'm feeling that same vibe with Thomas Partey. And I just don't think. I know. I hear you. I can see your comments already. I just don't think, and I'm starting to side with Josh a little bit here. When you have a Lamborghini in the garage, what's the point if you can't drive it, James? Am I being too harsh?
I think if you judge it based on what you saw first half, yeah. Sorry, no. Yeah, based on the first half, no, you're right. Yeah, he had a terrible first half, but second half, I thought he grew into the game, and he laid a few passes on which we, want him to be doing, and I thought he was a lot better. But someone mentioned it earlier. Every single yellow card that we got today was completely stupid. And again, that's either from a lack of confidence, a lack of ability, or we've just got idiots. There's no other, you see Man City and they get what people call the clever yellow cards, where they're breaking things up. We don't ever get ones like that. All of them were completely silly. And, people are saying how unfair the Martinelli one was. They're both bookings. It doesn't matter that it was,
correct.
The ref has played advantage. Now, I know Martinelli probably thinks he's not going to book me for that. But the second one, the guy's not really... Okay, he looked very good when he come on, this new guy for them. Chiquinta. I was going to say, I think my brother used to work in Chiquintos, but no, he was a barman there, I think. But no... both of them were completely silly, and I mean, Gabriel again, like when he, we saw at Man City when he kicked the penalties, but wasting time and stuff like that. There's 30 minutes of a game left. Now, I know Gabriel was brilliant, and we're probably going to touch on that. Man of the match, clearly. But when you've got half an hour left of a game, why are you wasting time?
Yeah.
Half an hour?
Yeah.
Come on.
Look, so Faris, I'll get your take on Partey. We'll start going through the players and the ratings. I'm not being negative today because we've got the 3 points and we won. But just hear me out, everyone, all 550 of you in live chat right now, right? We also have to look at the deficiencies that occurred today because we've got some other big games coming up. And to be honest, Wolves, who showed their prowess defensively, albeit conceding an ugly goal, showed also why they're only the third team in the Premier League in terms of goals, third from bottom in the Premier League in terms of goals scored. And we have some issues. That's what I'm saying. When you rely on Xhaka and Partey to be your leaders in midfield, this will catch up with us. We've got 17 cup finals. We won our first cup final tonight. We've got 16 more cup finals to go, right? And we cannot be ill-disciplined like this. What Martinelli did today shows he's young, he's inexperienced, but for such a young, mature player, he showed so much immaturity. Do not put yourself in a position to allow the referee to make that decision. That's the point. Mental strength is going to be half the battle in this battle for fourth. We've seen United, they're not there mentally because some of the players believe in the managers, some don't. Tottenham Hotspur, they've got some dodgy players in their team, but they've got a great manager who's engaged mentally, but the two are not connecting just yet. You've got West Ham, David Moyes, who's willing to do anything to win, and has a side where he's got some Rottweilers in it. And our team is a thin team, and without our best 11, we're going to struggle. Now we lose Martinelli in the next few games. Faris, am I talking out on my backside or my top side?
Absolutely not, Soph. I think you're talking complete sense. I also agree with James about the red card. I think let's just hit the nail on the head with that and say, definitely he has to go for that. It is a bit harsh because they're 2 consecutive yellows, and that's a bit strange. You don't always see that, but clearly he had his hands up in the guy's face, preventing a throw on, obstructing play, and then he's run someone down and taken them out from the back. So, I mean, it's just a moment of madness. Like, as you said, Soph, it's naivety. It's inexperience, it's naivety, and it needs to be stamped out. I don't know how Arteta's going to get through to this young group of players, particularly as he hasn't got an older guard. Who are the older senior players who are going to show them how it's done? Aubameyang couldn't turn up on time. Xhaka, has obviously a permanent internal systemic issue with getting sent off and not being able to challenge. Lacazette's on his way out of the club. And just to touch on the Partey point, because I feel like I have to, Sophie, and maybe James has a view on this. My patience ran out with Partey at the end of last season. I think a season for a player of his caliber, for a player of his quality and experience and age, for someone who commanded the fee that he did and is on the salary that he is, all of those issues as a package mean that absolutely a club of our stature should be expecting him to perform straight away, should be hitting the ground running. And, if you look at how nice we are as Arsenal fans when we speak about Partey, we often look for the odd game where he was outstanding. Either that was his best game in an Arsenal shirt. You could say it against, who was it? It was Man City this season. It was 1 or 2 teams last season. But really, you need consistency from a player like that who's in the engine room. And we just haven't had it. And so absolutely, patience has run out with him. And I think we need to be looking elsewhere. I think for whatever he's on, is it 200 grand a week or something like that? Look around Europe and take your pick. I mean, there's quite a few players in the top 10, top 20 in his position that would, love a salary like that and love the conditions that we've got.
Yeah, okay, cool. I like it. I dig it.
I agree with you. And listen, guys, sorry about the mic issue at the beginning, if there was a bit of an echo. Right, there's 800 of you in live chat. I love each and every one of you. Not being negative. I am so happy we won. If you look at my tweet, I said winning ugly is beautiful. Please don't take this the wrong way. All I'm saying is, right, that we have to be very careful of our discipline, because this is it for us. This is our moment. 16 cup finals. We need all of these players. Even missing Martinelli for one game might cost us. Who knows? Let's go through the squad. Okay, before we do that, I will read out some stats for you. So here we go. The team stats. Wolves had 15 shots on goal. We had 12. They had 4 on target. We had 2. Possession was 59% to the home team, 41 for us. They had 474 passes, 342 for us, 82% pass accuracy for Wolves, 75 for us, 13 fouls for us, 12 for them. It was a bitty game. Got ugly at times, didn't it? There was no flow. The first half also was the lack of quality in the first 25 minutes, I think, was evident on both sides of the ball. Yellow cards, 3 for us, 2 for them. Of course, the red card for Martinelli, 2 offsides for us, 1 for them. 7 corners for Wolves and 4 for us. But the point is we won. So here we go. Ramsdale, what are your player ratings for Aaron Ramsdale? For me, once again, Rambo 2.0. You guys want to get positive? Get your positive pens out. Get your positive fingers out. Get everything positive in your life out. Because for me, this dude is the Don of all Dons. I think that in years to come, he will erase the original Rambo memories because he's building his own. What are your marks for Rambo? James Johnston.
7. There was the big double save in the second half. There was some nice bits at the end where he's like, I'm going to lay on the ball here, utilise a few seconds. When time wasting is good to do, that's when you should be doing it, when it's right near the end, not when you've got half an hour of a game left. But there we go. No, nice solid 7 from Ramsdale. Okay, lovely.
Faris, what's your rating for Ramsdale?
I agree with James, and I'd go one further. I'm going to give him an 8 for today. And just to add to that, the thing that pushes me up that notch is, I don't know if you recall, there was one point at which a short corner was taken by Wolves, and Martinelli was slow getting to it, and he absolutely tore into him. And that's the kind of, it's the kind of support you need, commanding leadership that you need from your goalkeeper. And I think you've been mentioning this for the past few weeks, Sophie, that he's really giving the team that confidence. So he gets an 8 for me.
Yeah, for me, he gets a 9.5. Once again, he leads by example. I love his vocalness. I love how he bullies his own defense, let alone bullies the striking, the strikers of any team coming at him. He's fearless, and it's been a long time since Arsenal have had fearless players, and I feel like we have a few of them right now. Scores coming in all over the place. Listeners from all over the world, 866 of you in live chat right now. Thanks so much for joining us. The Arsenal won, Man United drew, Tottenham lost. We keep up with West Ham. 16 more cup finals to go. You want positivity? Here it is. Let's go. The mark for Cedric, a player who we've all ripped to shreds. Let's be honest. I tell you something. This guy today showed up. He put out big time. And I absolutely have to give credit where credit is due. Cedric was brilliant. A couple of juicy crosses from him. He got into the right positions. He held himself, at the back as well. For me, Cedric gets an 8. I agree with K-Man. I agree with Jenny. I agree with a lot of the scores coming in right now for this fella who's been under the cosh, injured, hardly appeared for the team. 900 in live chat right now. Kiss that button if you dig Cedric's performance tonight. James Johnston, what you got?
Yeah, he gets a 7 as well. He was very good offensively, but he still shows why he doesn't get picked for the defensive side of things. There were,
Careful, James.
No, as someone who dug him out yesterday,
You did.
All these comments can come in. I don't really care. I say it as I see it, and I dug him out yesterday. But today, offensively, very, very impressed. He utilised the space that I said that Wolves would give us, and yeah, he done. So if we had the striker that we all dream about, that cross in the first half where Lacazette completely missed it.
Weghorst would have buried that, I told you.
Think of the goals. Yeah, think of the goals we could have got if we got that big striker that we all wanted. But he done the business. He done the business.
All right, keep them coming in. Faris, what's your score for Cedric?
My score for him is an 8 as well. I think he gets that kind of that snarky award that you get at high school. Is it best improved or something like that?
Yeah.
For the fact that he's just been out for so long that he doesn't feature and that he came in and put in a performance like that away from home is really quite outstanding for him.
Very cool. Christoph, I like that. Steady tonight. We like that. We dig that very much. We have to give credit where it's due because a lot of us wanted Ben White in that position. A lot of us said Maitland-Niles could have been kept to play in that position. And it's just one game. And let's not dream here because you and I know, we all know we need Tomiyasu back as soon as possible in this team for our next cup final. But credit to the manager as well that he did not rush Tomiyasu back this time, learned from the mistake against Liverpool. And if we can get these type of solid, just do your job performances from Cedric, then I think we'll be good until Tommy can come back. All right. Ben White, James Johnson, what's your say on Benjamin?
7.5. If Gabriel didn't get the goal, obviously we're talking about a different game anyway, but he was absolutely brilliant tonight for me. Really, really impressed with him. At the start of the year, we got told this is a guy that's aerials are absolutely terrible. He wins that second phase of play for the goal that helps create the goal. And then also he won an aerial tonight at a really important time in the game defensively. And I was really, really impressed with the guy. So yeah, he gets a nice 7.5.
Faris, what about you?
I'd agree with that. I think 7.5 for me as well. I think he was in a good way. He was actually he just kept himself out of trouble, and you didn't notice him. He cleaned things up, and that's actually in a way what you want. He didn't put in that kind of performance where he was doing last ditch slide tackles and catching up with play. He just mopped up, and he was commanding. And so 7.5 for me.
I actually think also this was one of his best aerial displays. James and I were going back and forth on that during the game a little bit in WhatsApp, talking about how, he was cleaning up. And let's be honest, there is an aerial threat from Wolves. And I think that he handled that really well. He's been criticised for it greatly, but I think he did a good job tonight. We got some 7s, we got some 8s for Benjamin. We got 7.5s. I think tonight he gets a solid 8, did his job. And let's be honest, we kept Wolves at bay, and that back line held themselves. You know what's really interesting too, you guys, and 900 plus of you in live chat, please do kiss, caress, smack, hit that like button if you enjoyed this win. Super Kev hopefully will be popping in a little bit later, by the way. He's been on TalkSport tonight covering the game and all of the games in the Premier League. But Vinny wants you to hit that like button. If you don't, I'm going to tell Super Kev and he'll bruckle your necks. But the thing is, we've been a team that has been so good going forward over the last however many years, right? We've always created chances. We've always had sexy players, and our deficiency has always been, God, when are we going to get a really good CB? When are we going to get a good defensive midfielder? But if we just take the back line to begin with, it's like that is our nucleus right now. And what we need to do is fix the midfield and get that striker. And so to see this evolution from Mustafi and Sokratis and Holding, and even though Holding did a good job when he came in tonight, I'm not going to say that, and Chambers doing the makeshift and Maitland-Niles doing the makeshift, you've got to give Edu and Arteta kudos for the fact that We've gone in, we found this goalkeeper who was a gem that a lot of fans didn't want, that in the market this summer, if we wanted to sell him, could be like a £40 million player, which we're not going to do that. But I'm just saying, like, we've got these players, Gabriel, Ben White. Who would rather have Ben White or Harry Maguire in their squad? A lot of fans want to complain that we paid 50 million
Southgate.
for Ben White. Ben White should be on that plane this summer, not Harry Maguire. 85 million they've paid for him, and he's their captain. And he's been an absolute dud for most of the time. So to see this back five emerging together, and I know Tomiyasu wasn't playing today, and that right back position, we're definitely going to need better cover for it. But to see the Arsenal fix that balance, I think is so key and so important, you know. And I love to see that evolution. So anyway, Gabriel, James Johnston, what do you say?
Yeah, man of the match 8. Yeah, solid. Brilliant game from him. Especially playing out as well from the back. Really, really good. And then the goal, done what he needed to do. That's what we want. Yeah, very, 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 very happy. I got worried near the end. I thought that his veneer got smacked out again. But no, he still had them all there. Still had. Great. I mean, some of the tans on the boys tonight, as well as the teeth. Unreal. See Smith Rowe's when he comes out. Smith Rowe's tan. Oh my word, sensational.
What about Benjamin's highlights, man? He's had that, and they got a little blonder in Dubai, didn't they?
Yeah,
let's be honest.
I think maybe he might have secured that girl's number from Dubai. I think
I love it.
She might have been a permanent signing for Ben White in January. You know?
I don't care. He can kiss who he wants if he plays like that.
Yeah. When you look like that, you can womanize, can't you? I don't advocate womanizing before anybody starts having a go at me.
I think we know what you mean, though, James. Coming from a woman, I know where you're coming from.
Thanks.
Faris, what's your score for Gabriel?
Score for Gabriel is a 9. I think he's man of the match as well, and you have to rate him very highly for his performance, and also getting the goal. It just adds that bit of that touch of magic to his performance, doesn't it? I agree with you, Sophie. I've been watching the shows very closely, and the way that you sometimes eulogize over him and kind of the power that he exudes and the what kind of this force that he has, that he moves throughout the team and throughout the pitch is something that I just think is really beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
And I love it when he has games like this.
I love him. I absolutely love him, and he is the one. He needs to be fit. He needs to be ready to go. He's got fire. He's got the Rottweiler instinct. He can score goals with his head. He never gives up when we're in a corner situation and there's a second or third ball to be won. He's a leader. He's a good guy off the pitch. I absolutely love this guy. 100%. He gets a 9 for me. All right, Kieran Tierney, James Johnston.
Yeah, another solid 7. Someone made a great comment. I think it was Martin made a great comment about how Ben White dealt with Podence that made Tierney end up getting doubled up. And when he did get doubled up, you saw there were times there positionally, he was just a tiny bit off. And what I am worried about as well is we used to be terrified of the Rory Delap throw. And yet tonight,
do you remember Rory Delap?
Tonight, we've seemed to adopt the Rory Delap throw for some reason. So maybe I don't know. They looked at it and probably thought, what's his name? Connor Cody's the only real one that they've got in that back three of any height. So maybe we might get something. I mean, we did score, from heading it above, from a guy that's not known for headers, like Ben White, like I said. So maybe we looked at that and thought that's a chance, but I don't think you know what we're like with merchandising against Brentford. I think we're going to be having loads of new towels coming out. They'll try and make money that way. Get Tierney using the new towels.
Oh my goodness! By the way, I got so excited talking about Ben White and also talking about Gabriel. I forgot to put I put Gabriel's up, but here's Tierney. Faris, what's your mark for Tierney?
I'd give Tierney a 7. I think he gets a bit of a lower mark than the rest of the defence because I think, his passing wasn't as good as it could have been. I think he had good energy and he played well. and he was tidy. But I think, you know, this is something that has been picked up before on the show, which is that his end product does need to improve, and particularly in the last period when we went down to 10 men. He was one of the players that I look to, maybe because of his character and his experience at Celtic. But he's one of the players I would look to hold the ball, dictate, you know, a tempo to the play to make sure that we retain the ball a bit. And we didn't really get that. So a 7 for him.
Yeah. You know what it is, I think today he didn't... I don't know if this is the right thing, but to me it felt like it was a game where he knew he didn't have to do too much. So he just did what he had to do without pushing it. Even though Wolves put pressure on us towards the end, even though there was this surge at times, it wasn't continual. And so I felt like he was very sensible with kind of when he pushed forward. And I think that, you know, there's always going to be this issue of crossing, and it always looks bad when the person's crossing and there's no one on the end meeting it. I think that's something that we've got to address in the summer with our signings. Prashant, thanks for sharing this. Arteta on the red card. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen that in my career. The rules can say it's possible, but you, the ref, have to be willing to do it. The problem I have with this is that, unfortunately, our player put the referee in the position to do it. And that's the part that we need to work on. So, yes, the referee could have handled it differently, but if a referee is one of those, and we've seen him and seen this referee before, if he's going by the book and he's able to make these kinds of decisions, we just make it easier for him to be able to do that. The positive is...
Sophie, if you look at the time as well, sorry, just to chime in.
No, yeah, absolutely.
The crowd were getting on us because we're wasting and you know, they're going for the ref as well. When they did that throw in and it went to, like I said, whatever it is. I'm sorry, I've forgotten his name. The new guy that they brought in. If he'd have stopped it because he'd have gone, oh, you know, Martinelli's and gave him a card there, they would have gone mental. They would have lost their heads. They would have gone absolutely insane because they'd have been like, no, we were through here running down that side with this player. So
are you talking about Chinchino?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. If he'd have pulled that back like he wanted to, because he did go advantage, if he'd have pulled that back, those fans would have gone insane because they were on a break, you know. And again, Martinelli, yeah, he shouldn't, you know, he shouldn't have pushed him out, but he took one for the team, thinking I'll probably get the booking for that and not the other one. But you know,
yeah,
it's happened sadly.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. I'm not going to say what Arteta's saying is wrong at all, and it's one of those situations, unfortunately, where you want the referee to. It's like the Robin van Persie booking against Barcelona, right? Come on, man. But the problem with Martinelli is he doubled down on it. So he tried to stop the throw in and then he went on to kind of push and make the foul. And I think that's when the referee was like, hold on a second, I could have pulled you up when you tried to stop them from taking the quick throw. And then you double down on me. And that's where the issue came in. Right. Let's move into our midfield. Faris, I'll start with you. And Xhaka.
I don't think Xhaka's ever going to get good marks from me for any performance that he puts in, and mainly that's because I'm just so attuned to seeing his errors. I watch every single one of his passes, and invariably it just seems like something's overhit, miscontrolled, you know, played too slow or too fast. And I think that was, you know, he had that all over the game today. He also picked up a silly booking, which was unnecessary. And yeah, I mean, okay, generally, you look at the end result, the fact that we kept a clean sheet and so on, and you can say that's partly down to him. But, you know, given the way the back five performed, I wouldn't hang that cap on his head. So I'd give him, you know, a 5, and he's lucky to get that.
JJ, what do you think, mate?
Yeah, it's 6. I said it last night. At the moment, you can't trust those two in the midfield. And if we're going to get to where we're going to get to, or we're not going to get to where we're going to get to, it's on them two players because they're so important. You know, I said it as well last night. This was audition time for Ruben Neves. And that recovery that he made on Martinelli is what I want Xhaka or Partey to be doing. I want them to come back in, and in the penalty box and tackle a player and not give away a penalty, do a decent tackle, and then progress the play on further down the other end of the pitch. That's what I want my midfielders to be doing. But at the moment, these two, it's very, very, very tricky.
Yeah,
very tricky.
Raid, I'm not defending the referee. I'm just saying don't allow the referee to make that decision. That's the point.
And us at the moment,
where you got to be smart.
These refs at the moment, they know we're there. We're right pickings for red cards.
Exactly.
They can't wait to give them against us. And I know people are going to go, oh, well, what do you expect us not to slide in? No, I don't. But
and I agree with John. I love the Arteta. It's about time. Rip into them. Get a fine. Go Fergie on everybody. Absolutely do it. Right, I'm bringing in Mark as well now, who was at the game, who just left the stadium, and Wolves, who can give us his take on what he saw. Hey, Marky, how you doing, mate?
I'm good. I'm a little bit hoarse. Apologies, but yeah.
Real quick, we're talking about the red card situation. Can you talk us through that a little bit? You were there, singing your heart out with the away fans. By the way, a round of applause for Mark and the away fans. Everybody always representing the club this season away from home. Marky, what did you see? What happened? What were the Arsenal fans saying in the stadium? Can you?
Yeah, sorry, my Wi-Fi is a bit crap. I'm staying.
That's okay. Go on.
Hello. Yeah, sorry. I don't know if you can hear me or see me. My Wi-Fi is really bad. I'm at the best.
Dodgy hotel in Wolves.
That's a shame.
Dodgy hotel.
The home of Led Zeppelin and also the home of terrible Wi-Fi.
We'll let Mark come back in and we'll carry on with our player ratings. Why don't we move to Thomas Partey, James? What say you?
Yeah, he's a 6 as well. Like I said, improved second half, but overall, not the best game from him either.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see. I know a lot of people think I was harsh on Thomas Partey at the beginning. I expect him to play like he did against Manchester City in most games, Faris. I think that we've seen the best of Partey at Atletico Madrid. We have not seen the best of Thomas Partey at the Arsenal. A little bit injury prone too. We all want him to succeed. I want him to be the Vieira-esque type midfielder, the leader. I want him to put the team on his shoulders. And even though he did behave when he got the yellow card, I'll give him that. He was was more measured and he tapped into that mental side. I'll give Thomas Partey a 6.5 today. What about you?
Well, I think it's good that he stayed on the pitch for starters, especially after getting a yellow card. He managed to maintain some kind of control, and I do think in patches he passed well and opened up play. But yeah, I mean it's still not the level that you'd expect. I would give him a 6.
Yeah, Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Sorry, I was trying to use the hotel Wi-Fi. I'm staying at a travel lodge in Wolverhampton at the moment. Funny enough, the Wi-Fi isn't great here, so apologies. I don't know if you heard anything I said in regards.
No, I didn't. But this is what I love. Look at this, you guys. Mark's got a job. He's travelled up to the game. He's staying in a travel lodge. He's got to get back to London tomorrow to work. I mean, this is the beautiful thing about following your club. There's fans in the chat that are up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever time of day it is. This is a beautiful thing. There's 1,064 of us in live chat, and amazing. We won ugly, and that is a beautiful thing. Mark, talk us through the atmosphere in the stadium, the away fans, the red card for Martinelli. Go for it while we got your Wi-Fi good and ready.
Yeah, sure thing. So do you know what? Pre-game, it was compared to the Liverpool game, before the Liverpool game, where people were very sort of upbeat and ready to go. It was a bit subdued, and I think that's probably slightly because of the disappointment around the January transfer window. But as soon as we got in the concourse, it was behind the team, singing our hearts out, and it was. I think it's one of those really good, ugly victories, which we don't really see. It's almost like when we went down to 10 men, it's just waiting for the inevitable of them scoring a late goal, and here we go again. We've seen it all before, but like the Liverpool game away, we've got a certain spirit about us which we just haven't had in previous seasons, and I just think great win, ugly win, but great win. And in terms of the red card, like, how often does that happen, really? Like a yellow card for delaying play and another yellow card straight after. Like, I don't like to be one of these people like conspiracy theorists and why was Arsenal, but you've got to look at decisions like that and think it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. You just don't see it. I can't remember two yellow cards dished out like that ever. Can you think of another instance where that's happened?
There was one with Jimenez a few weeks ago. What wasn't there at Tottenham or something like that?
It's very rare, really rare.
It is. I just was he waiting for the opportunity? Did he? Is he? Some referees love a bit of publicity for themselves. I do, like I said, I think that unfortunately Martinelli allowed the opportunity to happen. I'm not saying the referee was right. All I'm saying is let's not allow the referee to make that decision. Do you know what I mean? So we got Malaysia in the house, we got Uganda, we got India, we got Australia, we got New Zealand, we got the United States, we've got Sweden, we got Russia, we've got everybody from all corners of the earth, all 1,102 of you. Hit that like button if you love the Arsenal. Mark, I'll start with you. We've gone through Rambo and the back line and the midfield. Real quick, what was your take on Thomas Partey tonight? You were there. I feel like, he needs to kind of do better, be more consistent. What were you and the away fans thinking when you were watching that game unfold when Thomas and Xhaka both got yellow cards?
Did okay. My bum was twitching a little bit when there's both on yellow cards because, again, you're kind of waiting for the inevitable. But I'm still waiting for the £40 million centre midfielder that we bought. He was okay. He did okay. It wasn't great. Wasn't bad. Fine. A 6.5 out of 10 performance for me. Good. Just how I feel about tonight. Great, amazing that we won. But Wolves are a poor team. Wolves are a poor team when we've sort of got away with one a little bit in terms of not getting a striker in January, because that chance which Lacazette missed, and I'm sorry, I don't know if you've covered this already.
Yeah, no, we haven't got there yet.
Okay, sorry, I'm jumping a little bit. If we come away with there for less than 3 points, then you're looking at not getting a striker in January and thinking, right, by that time the game, Lacazette's legs are gone a little bit. He's through on goal. You've got to have a plan B there. We can't put all our eggs in on one basket and trying to get Vlahovic all January, and then we come up short, we don't get him, and then have to rely on Lacazette and Nketiah. So I don't want to be negative. Great win.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely buzzing that we've got 3 points. I'm not going to be that guy and be like, negative. But
yeah, no, I hear you.
It's gonna be a tough ask to rely on Lacazette and Nketiah for the next 16 games to get us to top 4.
Yeah, definitely. Keep it coming. Let us know where in the world you are. Israel, Ethiopia, Trinidad and Tobago, Somalia, Canada, Angola, San Jose, Jamaica, Germany. So many great fans from all around the world. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll keep it going. Get stuck in. Who is ready to give Odegaard some points? James Johnston. I
7.
love this guy. I love him. I love him.
Same. He's only like I said, he's only going to get better. There were a few intricate little triangles that him, Martinelli, and Saka played during the game. Although we'll get on Saka in a bit. It was a bit of a quiet day for him. But yeah, no. Odegaard, like I said, nice, solid 7.
Yeah. Faris, what about you with Martin?
I'd give Martin a solid 7 as well. I think he played very well. Immaculate touch, great passing. And I think in some ways it's a shame to see him come off at the stage that he does in these games. And that's nothing against Emile Smith-Rowe. I think ESR's fantastic and he needs the time and so on. But I think I'd like to see him complete 90 minutes more than he does. But he played very well today, yeah.
Yeah, Nino, I'm not sure what your problem is. Celebration is cringeworthy. So, you know, we say we need a bit more discipline. We say we can still improve. We celebrate the fact that we got 3 points winning ugly. Some Arsenal fans you can't please. Nino, just relax, make a cup of tea, have a scone. Everything's going to be okay, you know. It's going to be okay. Marky, what's your mark for Odegaard?
Yeah, 7 as well. Played really well. Again, like you guys, would love to see him get a full 90, but probably the right call. I think what sometimes you don't see when you watch a game on TV is just how much he runs and presses all the time. So yeah, the guy's quality. He's so underrated. He's really, really underrated for me. I think we don't really know what we've got there, and he's class. He's going to be a linchpin for us. So yeah, 7 for me.
This is what I love, and this is why I love having you on when you travel away, especially, but also at home. Mark, is we don't have the tactical cameras, right? So we don't see that all the time. What I love is what he does off the ball. And a lot of the time, Arsenal have been criticised over the last few seasons for not having that energy off the ball. And in the Premier League and in the modern day game, you've got to be so good off the ball. And that is why I think he starts over Emile Smith-Rowe right now. He has that level of maturity, that level of leadership as well. And so I love hearing that too, in the sense that, you know, what he does off the ball is just as important as what he does on the ball as well. All right, let's get to... Oh, boy. We love him. Come on. He's one of our favourites. JJ.
Yeah. 5. It's what we've all said, you know, you're heaping the pressure on young wingers to see us through. And sadly today, this guy had a rush of blood to the head and... silly sending off. I know a lot of people say that we've got grounds to appeal. If we do and we get away with it, happy days. If not, then we'll bring Emile Smith-Rowe back in on the left-hand side and we go again. I'm not going to dig into Martinelli like I have with other players that have been sent off for us, because I know that this guy will bounce back, He's not done it over and over and over again. So
I agree completely. Faris, what's your take on Martinelli? I thought in the first half he was one of our best players, if not the best player. And I actually tweeted that he just plays delicious football. What's your take?
I think I'm trying to think of a different way of looking at his red card and thinking maybe because he knows he has to perform and he's in the starting lineup and he will be probably for the rest of the season, that he has to perform and there's this pressure on his shoulders. And maybe he got to a certain point in the game where he felt that he needed to impact the game in some way because he hadn't scored or assisted. And so you ended up with a challenge like that. That's the only kind of explanation I can give for the rush of blood to the head. But otherwise, I agree. I mean, he's got such great energy and he plays so well with his heart on his sleeve and he's got fantastic quality. So I would give him a 6.
Yeah, I think I give him a 6 too, because if I'm rating him on his first half, he gets like an 8 for me. I thought he was great. Mark, you mentioned the red card and, the surprise and the quickness of it all. But in terms of performance, what did you see when you were there tonight?
Oh, he's class. He was our most effective outlet tonight. Very lucky that he was available to start. He's a kid, with a red card, he'll learn from that and he'll come back. But yeah, I'd say I'd give him a 6 in terms of his performance. But in terms of outlet, he was our best player on the pitch.
Oh my! I always bring up this picture because it melts everybody's heart. But did he melt your footballing, strategic, analytical hearts tonight, James Johnston? For me, I'm not sure this was Saka's best game. Again, he can't save us every single game. He can't perform miracles every game. And I actually wasn't happy, of course, with the 10 men, but I was happy when he was the one sacrificed in order for Holding to come on. What say you?
Yeah, he gets a 6. It wasn't one of his best games. Again, just sometimes it's not always going to come off for the guy. You said that you want him to improve his finishing. Tonight he didn't really, get any chances laid on for him. The goal that we took was a really, really good chance, like I said earlier, from a good second phase of play. And then you'll touch on it in a minute about the Lacazette chance. But yeah, we can't keep missing sitters like that, I'm afraid. But yeah, I wouldn't judge him on today. Just see how he does, in the next couple of games. He's so important for us, Sophie. So I'm not going to pile on to Saka.
Okay, I have a very special guest to bring in for everyone tonight. Farish, you're going to be very happy about it, as are the 1,000 plus people in live chat. Mr. Super Kev, Super Kevin Campbell.
Oh,
What is? At ease, everybody. How you doing, guys? How you doing, everyone?
Doing good, doing good. I was listening to you on TalkSport as I was watching the game, and that was a lot of fun. Very good show with Darren Lewis and Hugh Wisencroft, Super Kev. And I love that you're still sporting the Dicky bow. We have a new face on the show tonight. This is Faris from Dubai, and you are one of his idols. So this is a massive moment for him, Super Kev.
Faris,
nice to meet you, Kev.
how you doing? You're well.
Very well. All the better for seeing you.
Nice one. All the better for the result tonight.
Absolutely.
I couldn't even watch it fully, so I was just getting glimpses of the game.
Kev, from the glimpses that you got and what you guys were talking about in studio, and I know you guys had the video monitors where maybe you saw the red card. What's your take, Super Kev?
Look, it's our first game in a while. Obviously, winning is everything. Let's have it right. Winning is everything. We played okay. We had some moments, but we weren't great. I think it was one of those games where one goal was probably going to do it either way. They didn't really look like scoring, let's be honest. But, at times we didn't either. But we just got our noses in front, with Gabriel coming up trumps for us. And look, the sending off, you could say he could get sent off, but I think the referee couldn't wait to send Martinelli off. He couldn't wait. He could have easily given him a yellow card, easily. But he decided no, he's got to go. It's amazing, these referees, how quick they are. And, the incidents happen so quick. Obviously, he's tried to stop the throw-in. The throw-in went on, and he was the only one who could get there, use his speed to bring the guy down. But it wasn't crazy. He weren't going for goal. He weren't doing anything too crazy. It was a professional one. But he's decided to send him off, and now we're going to miss Martinelli for a game. So there we are. We've said we want this first 11 to stay intact.
Yes.
Yeah, we got another red card, and now probably Pepe's going to have to come up and step up.
Kev, do you not think, though, that Martinelli allowed the referee to make that decision? Like, why do that? You and I, we've talked about on our show a lot about discipline, about being mentally in tune in the game. You're 1-0 up, you're away from home. I know he's young, but we keep allowing these.
So, unfortunately, we're going to accept his talent. We're going to accept he's such a talented young player. But what we got to understand is he's still naive. He still doesn't understand the football, the game at this level sometimes. And he's going to make some mistakes. Look at Xhaka. Xhaka's still making mistakes. The same. Pulling people's shirt back on the edge of the box, etc. He's still making mistakes. So if that could happen with an experienced player, we have to say, okay, Martinelli, you got to learn from this. Yeah. You've got to learn from this, because if we keep 11 players on the pitch, I think we beat them 2 or 3 tonight.
You know what, Kev? It's so weird. I wrote to James, and he will vouch for me, and I also tweeted it. I said, we will still win this game. When we went down to 10 men, I was so confident that we would still win this game, and that has not been the norm for this Arsenal Football Club in previous years and seasons. Even under Wenger in his latter seasons, Unai Emery. I will give the manager credit in the sense that he's built this tenacity and this, I don't know what it is, Kev. What is it? Can you explain that to me as a footballer? You've played in teams that could crumble, but you've also played in teams that no matter what happens, you'll come out, or you will believe when you're on the pitch that you're still going to get points.
Yeah, I think it's a spirit I think it's a spirit within the squad and around the group that you have to build. I mean, I remember 18 months ago, Soph, us talking about having to rip up that culture and build a culture within the football team and the football club. And people were asking for X, Y, Z, this player, that player. No, we've got to build within, because there has to be an inner strength. We want players who are going to play for that badge. They've got to be able to play for that badge, and they've got to be able to put their bodies on the line. That's the least we expect. Now, when you see it, that's why you were a lot more confident, Soph, to say, we ain't going to lose this, because the guys will stand up. You got Ramsdale. Do you remember, I think it was a couple of weeks I said, we discussed it and we said that we have to, if we're going to go forward, we have to lean on that defence. The goalkeeper and the defence. No Tommy Arsenal tonight. Cedric came in. I don't think Cedric had a bad game at all. I thought he was all right. But again, you keep that clean sheet, we win the game. And I think this is the way it's going to go between now and the end of the season. So, everyone, if we could keep the back four solid and the goalkeeper solid, I think we've got a good chance of winning games.
Definitely agree with you. And in our when I asked you last week about who's going to be the most important player, you said Ramsdale, and tonight he was absolutely brilliant again. Super Kev. I think Saka, we all agree on, didn't have his best game. Let's move on to this fella, especially now we have Super Kev in the house. Marky, when he got the ball and he opened his body up, a little Thierry Henry-esque like. With the away fans thinking this is it, he's finally going to break the duck, this is going in.
Yep, absolutely. We thought that was it, done and dusted. Wolves didn't look like scoring all night, and if we'd have gone 2-up, I would have had a much more chilled last 10 minutes of the game. But yeah, I'm just glad we saw the game out, because we would have been really under the microscope. And I'm sorry for keep repeating myself again, but like I said, if he had missed that chance and we would have conceded late, everyone would have said we needed to have a plan B in terms of getting a second striker in. But do you know what? He did well. He did okay. He did okay during the game. Held the ball up okay, but we just need someone. We don't want to get these it wasn't half chances, more than half chances. A golden opportunity. You've got to put that away. But I think his legs are just gone at that point. So I'll give him a solid 6.5.
Faris, what about you? For me, he's the type of striker, we say a lot on this show, that does so much off the ball. A bit like Bobby Firmino. He doesn't have the world class either side of him like Bobby Firmino, but chance like that, you've got to finish it. And like Mark said, had Wolves equalised, that would have been the narrative and the talking point versus the red card for Martinelli.
Yeah, I think so. Going back to what you said at the top of the show about, how many players in our squad do we want to look towards, and keep saying how many people they need around them in order for them to perform. I think, Lacazette stands on his own actions and on his own performances. And I think the miss, in a way, and Kev can speak to this better than I could, the miss, in a way, underscores the type of performance he's given us for the last couple of years. I mean, there are these big misses you can point to at every season where we look to him either to bury a game, to make it even, put us ahead, and he just comes up short. And so I do agree with you. He gives fantastic contributions off the ball. He's great with link-up play, great strength, but today's he gets a 5 for me, because that was absolutely average finishing.
James, before we move to Super Kev on this one, what was your take?
Yes, it's pretty much exactly the same as everybody else. Everybody else has summed it up. What we need someone in that area when that delivery comes in to be absolutely clinical. We haven't had that all season. I know a lot of people are saying about Lacazette tonight, but even when Aubameyang, you remember Aubameyang in pre-season was missing sitters that were even easier than the chance that Lacazette had there. You know, Lacazette had to run onto that and do a bit more. You've had it where literally Aubameyang's only got to stick a toe out and it goes in the net. So again, I don't want to pile on because we got the win, we did the business. But you know, we just need to improve. We just need to. I mean, he's not always been the clinical guy for us anyway.
Yeah.
But we, you know, as long as these other people are stepping up and scoring, it's not, you know, the end of the world. So yeah, we've done the business, got the job done, and I look forward to when you touch on the subs, because I think the subs need to get big ratings today, Sophie. I know one of them's not your favourite guy, but they need big ratings.
We're going to do it all in one shot. Super Kev, you've been there where, you know, sometimes you struggle as a striker, but also you understand that a striker can offer so much more. Laka did miss a great chance. It would have been great for him to get that goal, Kev. What's your take on the miss and, you know, maybe knowing also that, is he staying, is he going? It's a bit of a pickle for the club right now. You mute, Kev, are you muted? Can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
He's not staying, so that's for sure. He's not staying. I think it's he's one of these pros who is going to be able to help us in general. But one thing we can't do is rely on him for the goals to make a difference. I don't think Lack is that player anymore. Generally, yes, he's great helping the team, but he's not that player who we can rely on. And you know, unfortunately, we have to look to our youngsters. Martinelli, who's not going to be there next game, Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe. You know, we're looking at Gabriel, you know, come up with a goal, thank God. You know, we have to be looking elsewhere at players to come up with goals for us, Sophie, because our main guy, number 9, just isn't that player anymore. And it's sad to say, but he's not. And, you know, yep. I didn't see enough of the game, but the little bits I did see, so again, knitting played together, I thought he's done all right, but there was a few chances that really he should have been putting us out of sight, and he didn't take
it.
So.
Definitely.
So,
and who knows?
You know,
who knows what's going to happen, Kev, with Martinelli being banned for the next game? Is Pepe going to get his chance to come in? Maybe.
Well, do you know what? I think Smith Rowe's been honest. Smith Rowe will probably get an opportunity
on that side. Yeah, probably
on the left-hand side. We've seen him do loads of damage out there. And, you know, has he earned the right? I think he has. I think he has earned the right. I mean, the amount of goals he scored and the way he's played, his attitude's been good. So I think he's earned the right to start. Now, obviously, Pepe gets that one step a little bit closer to the first team then. So if there's going to be a change, Pepe's going to be the one coming on. What we need is Pepe to be hungry. We need him to have the attitude. I'm going to show you, Mikel Arteta. I'm going to show you, Gooner fans, that I should be in this team. That's what we're going to need, because he is a goal threat, and that's what we're going to need for sure, because we don't carry enough threat.
All right, very cool. We got a few minutes left here, and we're stoked that Super Kev has been able to join us after covering all the games this evening, and Mark being at the game wearing his old school stand up. We know what's on the front of that shirt. What's on the back? Who's on the back? Yeah,
you might see. Sorry, girlfriend's in the background. It's either she's on the bed or I've got a pit on the floor.
Hi, girlfriend.
It's only their second game tonight. I'm trying to radicalise her. She's from Manchester.
Well, a Manchester Arsenal fan. We love that. We love that. Love the shirt. You're rocking that shirt. What's the name on the back? Right. We love it.
He'd have scored that one that Lacazette had earlier.
Like you said, Rascal. Okay.
So can I just pick up Kev on something that he just said? Is that okay?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So Kev was making a good point about, you know, expectations on Pepe. You know, to be chomping at the bit to get on and show what he wants to do. My question to Kev is one about body language, because obviously as fans off the pitch, we have this perception. We build perceptions based on the way that we see a player. Of course, everyone knows, the famous one with Ozil. His shoulders are always slumped and he's walking around and he's got that languid style, and we developed that kind of rapport with him that he didn't care, or we had that feeling, that sense that his heart wasn't in it. I kind of get a similar thing with Pepe. Not so much that his heart isn't in it, but he's not to be very, I don't want to be very harsh and very critical, but he's got that kind of meager, it doesn't really matter if it goes against me kind of look about him. He's got the long sleeves, he walks on, he's a bit, always a bit cold, takes a while to get involved. And my question to Kev is that a bit harsh from us when we kind of read into all that detail to try and get a picture of a player? And can it be different to how he actually is on the pitch and in the dressing room?
100% it can. Remember, perception's only an opinion. Perception's only an opinion. And Ozil's shoulders were slumped when he was doing the business. He weren't as if he was, high and was running around and crashing into people. Yeah. He's always been that same language style. But when people are quite laid back, similar to Pepe looks like a chilled out, laid back type of character.
Very.
It seems like nothing flusters him. He's not going to be rushed to do anything, by the way. Although some of the movements he has from the wing cutting inside, he can be electric. But his way is quite laid back, and I think because we're used to people wearing their heart on their sleeve and crashing into things and doing all the fancy stuff. I think we think everybody's going to be the same, and they're not. Everybody isn't the same, and sometimes the perception isn't the reality. And I think Pepe wants to do well. I really do. But is the Premier League conducive to his talent? We've seen he can do it, but the problem has always been consistency. He needs to be more consistent with his performances, with his goal output, and just with his attack play, because he should be absolutely terrorizing fullbacks. He should be, because he can go both ways. And that question is, he's not. So now he finds himself out the team. He had a very good AFCON, and hopefully the real Pepe will show up when we need him.
All right, I'm going to get everyone out on this, and then I'm going to have Kev summarise for us how important this win was. United draw, everyone. Tottenham lost last night. West Ham won. We had to keep up with them. Wolves were only 2 points behind us. Now we get 5 points ahead of them. 16 more cup finals to go. James, you wanted to talk about the subs real quick. In a nutshell, go for it.
Got to give Rob Holding his props.
Big Bob.
Got to give Rob Holding his props tonight. 3 very, very important aerials that guy won. And he got given the armband as well when Lacazette went off. And he was very, very good with Ben White, with his little commands in there and everything else. And the Nketiah one, I'm sorry, but I that's one of the worst performances from a sub I've seen since the Abue one when he got resubbed afterwards. There was a point there where they played it back. We tried to play it forward and it went to their goalkeeper. Their goalkeeper come out and Nketiah started to run. Then he just went, I can't be bothered. I'm like, you press that. You're fresh on the pitch. You press that goalkeeper because he could slip, or you could get the ricochet like he did a couple of years ago against, was it Southampton or somebody who scored a goal like that? I'm like, you've got to, I don't care what minute it is, especially when you've just come on, you got to press that goalkeeper.
Not only that, James, the fact that we had a couple of minutes left and, well, less than a couple of minutes, maybe 90 seconds left. And rather than just keeping the ball in the corner, I don't know what he was trying to do. I was down the other end, but the ball just, he seemed to just put the ball back across with no one there and gave the ball back to their keeper so they could start another attack. You've just got to keep the ball in the corner. He just did not seem to give a damn when he came on. You've got to do better than that. You've got to do better than that. Even if he doesn't want to be there, put yourself in the window, like run around a bit. Like I'm not his biggest fan. I think he misses a lot of chances, but what he does do, usually what he does do well, he runs and presses, and that's why I think Arteta gives him a chance because he works hard. But that was shocking. That was shocking tonight from Nketiah.
Yeah, agree. Faris, your last summary of the subs, and what do you have to say?
I think Holding sticks out as the main sub that really impacted the game. I think Nketiah was, as the guys say, I think he was just lackluster, and I don't know. There seemed to be a bit of tension between him and Arteta before he came on. Arteta was shoving him and pushing him. I don't know if that meant anything, but
it was a bit weird, wasn't it?
It was a bit. It did look a bit off, didn't it? So
yeah,
it did look a bit off.
It did. Very unlike Arteta as well, to be honest with you. To be fair to him, it was, and he's a player that he's really supported a lot. It was a bit weird. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, and so that's where I am. I think the subs, they. I mean, we know where we are with the subs. I was looking at the bench just as the team sheet came out and thinking, is there anyone that? This is what it came down to, because I saw a lot of young names on there, a lot of unproven players. And I said, is there anyone on the bench that can guarantee me, in my opinion, a 7 out of 10 performance? At least a 7.
I think Smith Rowe could be that.
There was one name, and it was Smith. It was Smith Rowe, and it was the one the name at the top. And the rest, I said, they can easily put in 4s and 5s and on an off day, and you wouldn't be sure.
He wasn't as great coming on today. Mark, can you summarise for us too the atmosphere with the away fans? How did it feel being out there again? We've got another 9 days to wait for another game. Summarise it for us being away from home tonight.
Yeah, brilliant, rocking, absolutely rocking. Like there's a renewed sense of belief. I think it kind of stems from I know ultimately we got knocked out against Liverpool in the semi-final of that League Cup game, but that grit which we just haven't seen in previous seasons is there, and as soon as the final whistle everyone went mad. It was great because this is massive. Because again, with losing the previous games, with West Ham,
the Burnley game, or
so Burnley United, United dropping points. You got Spurs dropping points, and then you kind of feel like, typical Arsenal, like people drop points around us, we'll drop points. But this is a big result for us. Have no doubt about it. Ugly but big.
Yeah, fantastic. And Super Kev, you were working, but you were watching, half watching, listening. I'd love for you to summarize for us. By the way, we'll be back tomorrow night with Super Kev. Kevin Says show. You won't want to miss that. He's going to be watching the game tomorrow. He's got questions already. It's going to be a fantastic show. And just from me, 1,200 of you in live chat tonight on this channel. I just want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in from all corners of the earth. Thank you to Mark, who was at the game and ran back to his hotel to be on. Hello to Mark's girlfriend. Thanks for popping in. Faris from Dubai making your debut as well. You absolutely smashed it. And James Johnston, our tactical squad member, coming back tonight as well. James, you know how much we love and adore you too. So thank you. I will see you tomorrow. And I will let Kev finish the show with his thoughts on the win. And I will be back tomorrow night. Super Kev?
So in the circumstances of what has gone on in the previous nights, Man United dropping points, Spurs losing last night, I think there was a sense in the Arsenal fan base that, please, Arsenal, don't mess this up. Let's take this opportunity. Remember, we haven't played for 3 weeks. So, and it's a game away at Wolves, which is, you know what, this is a really tough game because that team have got the second best defensive record in the league. Mm-hmm. But let's be honest, Sophie, I thought our attitude was right. That's the first thing. Our attitude was right. And it don't matter how you get there, as long as you get that 3 points. That's the key. We're going to play them again in 3 games' time. Now we've got the sign over them. We're going to fancy ourselves at the Emirates against this lot. We fancy ourselves to do a number on them. Big 3 points now. We're not looking behind us. We're looking at West Ham now. We've got 2 games on West Ham. We need to rein them in. That's what we need to do. We don't play for 9 days. We can get Tommy Arsu nice and fit and get everybody going. And we have to go for it now, Sophie. It's a 16-game season. The next one's the important one, isn't it? That next game is the important one for us. Win that one and then move on. That's the key now. Sophie, give me 4 more ugly 1-0s.
I know, right? I know. And
5 wins. Give me 4 more Gooners,
Yeah.
and we'll be all right.
That's what you said, Kev. That is. James, did you want to add something real quick? And also, sorry, I want everyone to give out their handles as well. My apologies.
Yeah, just quick, just before we go. Mark likes a blue shirt. Faris likes Arsenal shirts. Kev, you used to wear Arsenal shirts. Sophie, you told me to remind you. Have you got your picture there?
No.
Because football prizes. Come on, you said I needed to tell you again.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Well done. Oh my God, you see, I've got so much going on in here with everyone in the chat. This one right here.
Here you go, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Look at these two
so,
here.
email me, thehighburysquad@gmail.com. I'm giving away 1 ticket, thehighburysquad@gmail.com. If you guys can let me know, let's see, what is the question? How many goals did Mikel Arteta score for the Arsenal? How many goals did Mikel Arteta score for the Arsenal? I will give you a free ticket. Email me, thehighburysquad@gmail.com. Don't put it in chat. Send me an email, and then you could win this bundle shirt and the Centenary 1985 shirt as well. Thank you. James, give them your handle, quick.
Yes, at LLCoolJames91.
Faris, are you on Twitter or...
I'm not, fortunately.
Good for you. Absolutely good for you. Marky Mark, give everyone your handle.
So I'm at Marky249 on Twitter, and Vicky, if you like travel vlogs, she's on Life with Vix on Instagram.
Life with Vix. I love that. Perfect. I love travel blogs. I'd like to go on holiday right now. Right, I'm definitely handing it over to Super Kevin Campbell. And Mark, I'll play the video of you guys singing on tomorrow night's show for Super Kevin, everyone. All right, the legend takes us out.
Nice to join you, Sophie. Mark,
Thanks,
Faris,
Kev.
LL Cool James. You know how this goes. Great to get a win, and I'm pleased to join you. Arsenal, you need more of this. That spirit really helps. And you know what? The fan base around the world could be happy tonight. Well done to Mikel and the boys. 1-0, we'll take that. And you know what, squaddies? You know what comes next. I salute you. And at ease, everybody. Good night. Hit the like button and at ease.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.